Hi, I'm Josh Willoughby, and I will be presenting on alcohol and tobacco. To begin, there are several types of alcohols, but the one we refer to in drinks is ethyl alcohol. Nicotine is the molecule in tobacco that is responsible for addiction. They are both psychoactive drugs, which means they influence neurons in the brain by speeding or slowing the interaction between them at the synapses. The exact date of alcohol and tobacco use is unknown. However, American Indians could have started as early as 1 BC. Additionally, use could have started as early as 6000 BC. We know that the Chinese were creating wines from rice, honey, and fruit as early as 9,000 years ago. Alcohol was put into a prohibition which lasted for 14 years. The reason for the prohibition being removed by the 21st Amendment was because of all the unintended consequences like highly increased gang violence, speakeasies, and bootlegging. For example, a few minutes after the prohibition took effect in January, quote, 6 masked bandits with pistols emptied 2 freight cars full of whiskey from a rail yard in Chicago, and another gang stole 4 casks of grain alcohol from a government-bonded warehouse, and still another hijacked a truck carrying whiskey. In the early half of the 1900s, cigarettes grew tremendously in popularity. During the First World War, they were referred to as soldier smoke because so many men were using them. They were even included in soldiers' CPACs during the Second World War. There was some evidence in the 1950s that cigarettes had detrimental effects on health, but they were ignored. Instead, tobacco companies marketed healthier options. With the Surgeon General reports and other research in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, much more research emerged, and lawsuits were eventually filed against tobacco companies. Tobacco has killed 100 million people in this century. It causes more than 480,000 premature deaths per year and is the cause of about 1 in every 5 deaths. At the current rate, the death toll will reach 1 billion within this century. We know that tobacco contains at least 70 chemicals that cause cancer, at least 250 that cause harm, and over 5,000 chemicals total. 61.5% of high school seniors report trying alcohol once in their lifetime. Alcohol is a depressant that works by slowing down the neurons in the brain. Alcohol primarily affects the brain, heart, liver, pancreas, and immune system. Alcohol will have an effect on other organs, such as the lungs, because it depresses the brain. 60% of college students aged 18 to 22 have engaged in drinking in the past month, and 2 out of 3 of those students also engaged in binge drinking during that time. There are a total of 1,825 deaths each year when heavy intoxication is evident. Additionally, there are also 696,000 assaults committed by a student who has been drinking and 97,000 instances of sexual assault or rape. Alarmingly, 20% of students meet the criteria for alcohol use disorder. Despite downward trends, 1/3 of college students still currently use tobacco. This means that even if you don't use it, you are exposed to it in real life, in addition to exposure from the media. Students were asked to identify whether they are occasional or regular smokers. The correlation was higher for each drug on this list in the regular smokers except for binge drinking. Additionally, it is found that students are significantly more likely to smoke cigarettes while they are drinking and drink more alcohol while they are smoking. In summary, it is always the best choice to stay away from drugs. However, USDA recommendations are to stay within 2 drinks per day for men and 1 drink per day for women. They also recommend no nicotine use as it is highly addictive. I'm excited.